Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Cliff Encounter, and it's under the command of Aristides on Raphael. That's quite a name, that is. Oh, he's just platooned as well, and there are now 3 in the platoon. He's platooned with a T32 and an M46 pattern, and he's suitably got the stars and stripes along the side of his vehicle. Now Aristides is taking up position in the bushes over on the far southwest corner of the map. And to start with, I think he's waiting for his first 8-inch shell to load in, and he's now looking for a target to shoot at. T55A, we can see in the distance. He's only got 20 shells available, and his first shell does 183 hit points of damage, but he has got a fairly long reload, yes, and he's not using premium consumables to speed up his reload time. Now it's an encounter game, so it's all about the cap in the center of the map, and on Cliff it's quite easy to get into the cap on the other side and be hidden from sight. I wouldn't be surprised if an enemy tank gets into that cap shortly. Ooh, that Skoda just got shot from behind, taken out by the IS-3. Aristides is looking for that IS-3 in the enemy team, fires one in. It got a bit late, but it still did 255 hit points of damage and splash. Now this 8-inch will do 1050 alpha, penetrates 52mm of armor, which is actually quite good, and it's got 11.1 meter burst radius. That means it's got quite a big footprint. And he's now looking at a KV4 and a T32. Now he's still firing standard ammo, but when you've got tanks that are lined up together, that's the good time to actually have some premium ammo. And the reason why the reticule is bouncing about quite a bit is because he's moving his vehicle to find a new firing position so he can avoid counter battery. At this stage in the game, it doesn't really matter too much if he's out in the open, because the enemy are not really going to be looking down into this cap area, but he just wanted to get himself ensconced in a bush just in case an enemy managed to get sight of him. Okay, there is a GSOR, British light tank, up on top of the hill at the moment, and he's dialing in that direction. Lynx is trying to get up there. He's fired a round in, and it hits that rock that the guy was hiding behind. Now, one of the great things about the M53 M55 is that it's actually got a turret, and that means it's also a closed turret, which means you can use vents, and the turret means you've got a very wide arc of fire. If you look at the minimap, you can see it's an incredibly huge wide arc of fire, and in fact actually it's only really matched by the M44 in its ability to shoot over such a wide area without getting massive reticule bloom. He fires a near shot in on that IS-5, but it just wasn't close enough to do any damage and just stuns the guy. Now we are capping at the moment, and it looks like the enemy are still trying to get resets. There's that GSOR. He came down from the cliff, and it looks like the Lynx is trying to get behind him. Aristides was thinking about a shot, but he's now going after that 7032. In fact, it's a 7032 with a 122mm gun, 2 of them. He's dialing in on the T32. Rounds out. Lands near him. And one of his platoon mates got a shot in there as well. I think that was the M46. Now, I think if he was to fire at the GSOR, he could probably get him with a splash hit. But in fact, actually, it was the Lynx who shot him in the back. So that's good. He's out the game, because he was being able to shoot down on our teammates. And that's why they managed to get the resets. And of course, the enemy Arty seems to be firing in at them too. Okay, Aristides fires around in. It's slightly off to one side. He's having difficulty because those monuments, or the ruins, actually do protect these guys from artillery fire. But there are a few angles that he could thread the shot between those two pillars to get a shell right on target. Or he could move position, as he's doing right now, to get an even better angle on them. Okay, it looks like both his platoon mates are now in the cap area. He's noticed one of the enemy Arty, an FB3805, making a quick dash down the western side, and he's gone behind the building, but he's not safe from a shell there, and he's out the game. So that's the first kill. That's useful because that is one of the enemy Arty. They're the ones who are getting the resets. And, oh, well, one of our teammates just got a kill. The T-32 took out the KV-4. But he might be able to get damage on both of those, the T-32 and the 7032, if he can thread the shell through the gap there. And just shoot between the pillars. I think that will do the trick. He's loaded. Rounds out. Well, it stunned both of them. I'm not sure if he did any damage to the 7032. It was unsighted just at the moment the shell went in. But the M46 Patton got a hit into the T-32, but we lost one of our platoon mates. Okay, fire right between those pillars. You might be able to get them. In fact, they're very low on hit points. He might be able to get both of them with a splash hit. Rounds out. Well, it did land where it was supposed to go, but we can't see the enemy, so we don't know if it did any damage. We're 3 tanks down on the enemy at the moment.
I'm in your debt.
I think they're hoping, or at least the Patton may be looking for spots on the enemy. He's got very low hit points. And the M103 is moving in to take the kill, and he gets it. He fires at the 7032. Oh, he got 2! He did get the Bombardier. He took out the T-32 and the 7032 with that shot. So a very nice little Bombardier in the cap, but now the enemy is capping again. We've got a Lynx up on top of the cliff. We've got an IS-3 down below, a Striv, 2 tank destroyers sitting on the cliff overlooking the cap area, but they're going to have to come out of that TD position, or the others are going to have to move into the cap to stop the enemy capping. And I suspect that Aristides is going to be firing blind in for the moment. That didn't get any reset. That T-55A over there is a splash kill. But at the moment it's all about stopping the cap, and we need to know where the enemy are. And unfortunately we lost the Lynx up on top of the cliff, so we don't know where the enemy is now. Just know that they've got 1 tank in the cap. He's going to try and take out that T-55A. Rounds out. Oh, we got him! Yeah. Nice one. Direct hit as well, I think. Now that's Striv S1. He's on the cliff overlooking this area, so he may have been looking for Aristides. And that LHMTV as well. The Striv's gone down, taken out by the sniper nest. And there's the LHMTV, and he's a splash kill, so Aristides can get him with his next round. He's just about to complete the load. Rounds out. Yes, he gets him. He was there. So that's now 5 kills for Aristides. Of course, he got those 2 at once. We just need to know where the enemy are. And they've got 2 in the cap now. They're trying to fast cap. So if our guys don't get to the cap quickly enough, we could lose this. And I suspect it's the M103 and the IS-3 that are both in the cap. And I also suspect that they are just behind in that corner. And that one hit the column, but it looks like it did reset the M103. And the ISU-152 is now in sight, and the sniper's nest comes alive and starts trying to hit him. Yep, he's pulled out of the cap. And the ISU 152K is down, taken out by our ISU 153, or 152 rather. And we're now looking to get that UDES sitting in that dip. He's marked the spot, but he can't see the UDES at the moment. He wants his teammates to tell him precisely where he is. There he is. Rounds out. Nice, direct hit, 472, big hit. Plenty of time to fire in more reloads. He's only got 5 shots left though. That's the problem. After that, he's got nothing to do except cap or spot for his team. He's loaded. The UDES is a splash kill. If you can get this round in there, he's dead. He does, yes. And that's a Top Gun. Now the IS-3 is up near that corner. Now, can he get a shot into him? He's firing at our IS-3, both dueling at fairly long range and angling each other to prevent the shots penetrating. Of course, one's very tempted to hit the IS-3, but you have to remember that the enemy is capping. If that IS-3 gets into the cap, then it's going to cap even quicker. Lines up a shot. Get it right on target. Rounds out. Looks good. It is. 177. All counts. The strip needs to move in from the from a little further up so he can actually shoot behind the building. If he goes along the cliff edge, he might be able to get to a position where he can shoot the IS-3 in the rear. But the cap is still proceeding, and we really do need to get around in there. We just don't know where in that area he is. No, he's not in the center. I think he must be behind the pillars. A bit further back. "17 seconds to go. Aristides is going to get one more shot, and unless his teammates move up, I'm afraid that's going to be it. It'll be a loss. He fires in. He does get a reset. 75. He was behind those pillars, the ones I said that he was behind. Oh, he set the MO103 alight. He actually set him alight with that shell. So he not only got a big reset, which is virtually guaranteed a defender medal because it was a 75 hit point or capture point shot. He keeps the game alive. It's 4 versus 3. It's just his teammates need to find a way to get close. He's got another reset. But there's 2 in the cap now. Well, we know where the IS-3 is, which means the T-28 must be the other capper. And the only way to get round this is for the Striv to either go up so he can take out the IS-3 from the side, or for the Striv to disengage where he is, go around and come up behind the enemy. So it's a long trip. He'd have to go all the way up to grid square C5 and shoot at the enemy from the rear. And of course Aristides could do that as well. They have got the time to do it. But Aristides has got no shells anymore, so he's run out of ammo. And that's it. That's the last minute hooter. And in fact, actually, the enemy hasn't got enough time to cap out. Unless the IS-3 gets into the cap, and he can't because he's dead. That means now it is definitely going to be a draw. I'd say the best thing for Aristides to do right now would be to move to a position where he can spot what's going on behind the cap to let the IS-3 know where they are. I didn't count how many shells that Aristides had left, but he actually has run out. So all he can do is cap or spot. And the best thing for him to do would be to spot. Well, the cap is now blocked. We've got 10 seconds left. This is going to end up a draw. There's no way that the enemy can win. And that's it. They've capped out. Very nice Bombardier shot to reset the cap. And guaranteed defender medal for Aristides. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's an ace tanker for Aristides on Raphael in the M53, M55. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. This one he managed to get 26. And he also got a defender medal, of course. In fact, I think he earned more than enough. I think he may have got 100 defense points on the cap to earn the defender medal. A Bombardier for taking out 2 enemy tanks with 1 shot, the 7032 and the T32, both with 1 shot in the cap. And he got a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills, and that's exactly what he managed to get in the game. So let's have a look at team score. Well, all that action actually gave him not the highest damage in the game, but the second highest damage in the game. The Striv S1 managed to get 3,733 hit points, but Aristides managed to get 3,523. And the third highest scorer was the ISU 152K on the enemy team with 3,346. When it came to kills, it was Aristides. He managed to get 6 kills, the highest number in the game, 2/5 of the enemy team. 3 kills went to the ISU 152K on the enemy team, and 2 kills went to the IS-3 and the T28. And when it came to base XP, it was Aristides again. 717 base for him, 656 for the IS-3, and the next high scorer was the Striv S1 with 645. He fired 20 rounds in that game, got 3 direct hits, and no penetrations, 23 splash. Damage of 3,523 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 6 of them, and did 1,253 hit points of stun assist off 17 stuns. And yes, he did get 100 defense points by resetting the cap so many times. In fact, effectively, he saved his team from a loss by getting those resets. And one of those shots, the last one, was a purely speculative one, but he did guess, just like I guessed as well, that he was behind the pillars at the back, not the ones in the middle. And he earned 30,880 credits from the game, 3,725 for the Achievements Award. That's for getting a Battle Hero or an Epic Medal in a losing or a drawn game. And in this case, it was a drawn game, and he did get a Top Gun, which is a Battle Hero medal. 51,908 credits for the game, and he already had plenty of ammo, so that's exactly what he took away, 51,908 credits. He received 717 XP, got 427 for the Achievements Award, 515 for Personal Missions Payout, and took away 2,231 experience points altogether. But a very good game, and an ace tanker game as well, which is pretty surprising because it was going down to the wire and he had to save his team repeatedly until he ran out of ammunition. And I didn't even count the number of shells he was firing because I was so engrossed on what he was actually up to. But yes, he did run out of ammo at the end. And as I say, normally what you do under those circumstances, you either spot or you cap. And in this particular case, it was probably better that he didn't cap, but he could have gone behind the enemy to spot where they were, find out where they were, get proximity spots, or just to poke up over the edge, see where they were, and then pull back down into cover. It might have drawn them out the cap and given his teammates a chance to get the kills. But nice game, very well played. 3 medals, yes, and that lovely Bombardier kill, that was perfect. Aim for 1 tank, got 2. Buy 1, get 1 free, you might say. But very well played. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.